So if you've been riding bikes for a while, you realise that things break, things come loose, unforeseen stuff happens, and you either end up in the bike shop all the time spending all your money getting your bike fixed, or getting your friends to fix your stuff, or developing a toolkit so you can fix your own stuff and have a go at it yourself. So we're going to have a bit of a tour of my toolbox. Simple Bunnings pickup. It's not huge. You can see the water bottle next to it. I can take it everywhere. Reasonably heavy now because I've collected a heap of stuff over the years, and just kind of, when something new comes up to be fixed and I don't have that tool, I'll order it. And if I've got the money, I'll get the tool and just start. I started developing. I've been developing this toolkit for 10 years now, and it's not bad, and it's lasted. So let's have a look through. Tape measure, definitely a semi-necessity. The SRAM Eagle adjuster, B-limit adjuster guide, some Imperial Allen keys, some more older Imperial Allen keys, and this is some sort of a crank pulling tool, I believe. It's been a while since I purchased this, probably this might be one of the first things I got for a dirt jumper I had at the time, maybe. A couple of spares. I got some end caps, bits of chain which probably never come in handy down there, but I'm a bit of a hoarder. 40mm post clamp, adapter, a couple of crank bolts, pedal pin spanner, which is pretty handy. That came with the nuke-proof pedals years and years ago, I believe, or maybe jet blacks, I'm not sure, can't remember. But a couple of rings, spacer rings, I think they're crank spacer rings, potentially, some ends, a couple of little loose bolts in there. So just bits and pieces that may or may not come in handy that aren't taking up a lot of space, so you might as well have them. That's definitely handy, that B-limit screw adjustment. We've got bleed blocks for when you pulled your bike apart, or if you're bleeding your brakes. If you've taken a wheel off and you're packing your bike, you jam that between your brakes so they don't squeeze in. We've got this little treasure trove of screw pins. So these are the nuke-proof threaded pedal pins, quite good. So a heap of those spares. And I guess the cat's out of the bag with these. These are my saggy bros. So just measuring sag, just a piece of cardboard, or it's the backing of a sticker from Mountain Bikes Direct, with millimetre increments to get your sag exactly right. So they're handy. I'm going to start making them too, and maybe make some stickers up. See how we go. But they're super handy. Next, so heaps and heaps of quick links. So that's a 11 speed. I've got a couple of 12 bangers in here. I've got a 10 speed. I've got a heap of 11 speeds in here from, I've had 11 speed forever. Rotor bolts, stuff for your head stem. There's a couple of spacers in here as well. Ferrules and ends for cable outers, 12 speed. Spare brake pads, so they are guide pads, 10 speed quick link, or half of a 10 speed quick link, the other half's in here. Now, front chainring bolt undoer thing, so that goes into this bit here, goes into the inside of the chainring bolt, so the back side of it, to undo your chainring bolts. 5 cents, just in case you need 5 cents. Old pulley wheel, which is probably cooked, but I hold on to it anyway because I'm a hoarder. Random screw, random spanner, tiny spanner. Heaps of stuff, Torx. Couple of spare ones of those things. More brake pads, which may well be contaminated now, but you know, they're still alright. They'd get someone out of trouble in an emergency. So they're Elixir pads. More quick links. Heaps of bolts, heaps of nuts and bolts. Some spare valve ends, so they can often come in handy. Pedal washers, random different size washers, heaps of bolts and nuts. A couple of these, they tend to go missing sometimes off your brakes. I've seen a couple of people lose them, so spares for people there. Chainring bolt, so that's what I was talking about. That there, this tool here, does that to create a spanner kind of situation. This thing here is my little RockShox hose connector, so if I'm pulling a hose through a frame, I'll connect it to the existing hose, the new hose to the existing hose, drag it through. That thing works a treat, so it's threaded both ends. It's killer. Handy tool. Spare tubeless valve. No, you're not having it. That's one I definitely don't. Not going to give to anybody because they come in super handy. Put some of this stuff away. I usually stack it quite neatly, but for the purposes of entertainment, I'll just jam it in. Look, my OCD is getting the better of me already. I'm trying to stack stuff up. Anyway, front compartment. Spoke tools, a couple of different sizes, some hardware off of, I believe that's off of my 2015 Rain. So if anybody needs hardware from a 2015 Rain, the top, hit me up, it's there. Valve core remover, times 1, 2, probably 3 or 4 of them in there. Another spoke tool. Aha, the infamous bottom cap off of a Fox 40. So I had to buy a new one because I lost mine, and then the day that it rolled up, I found it. So I've got a spare. So if anyone's got a Fox 40 that they need a bottom cap for, $1,000. Nah, just kidding. Hit me up. Cush core valve. So I don't have a cush core in the bike at the moment. I'm running a double down on the back to compare it to double down no cush core versus an EXO with a cush core. Tie levers. Another tubeless valve. This is the Bontrager tubeless valve. So it's just metal at the base, so they've got a different tubeless setup. I've got a couple of these, which is Schrader to Presta adapter, so you can pump your tyre up at the servo. So 1, 2 of them. Some headset spacers, fresh bushing. I've got heaps of stuff in here. So valve core remover down the bottom there as well. Just general bits and pieces, spares. Put that back in there. Pop them up. Top deck. So we've got chain lube, squirt. I love this stuff. It's a little bit dirty, but not very. It lasts forever, so it's really good. Digital pressure gauge. So definitely important. If you want your bike to feel the same every time you ride it, you need to have your variables set consistently. So digital pressure gauge, never go wrong. Some slick honey, electrical tape, RockShox dynamic seal grease in there, which isn't too bad. I prefer the slick honey, but RockShox like you to use their gear, so whatever. Screwdrivers, Phillips head, a texter for marking things. I should have a white texter in here as well, but I don't. Analog shock gauge or shock pump. Flathead screwy. And this is a pretty cool tool here. So that's my ratchet tool, and it's got a heap of, in the back here, it's got a heap of Torx bits. So that's super handy. Then I've got some more Torx bits here. We got our Allen keys, Now I've got 2 full sets of Allen keys in here because sometimes you've got a 5mm on both sides and you need to hold one while you undo the other. So 2 sets of Allen keys, important. 1 set's definitely necessary. Some spacers for a float X2. Hello, how are you? What's going on? We've got a chain breaker, park tool chain breaker, very handy. But this is only the breaker, not a putting the thing back in jobby. Oh, maybe, no it's not, Good nips, so good sharp nips for cutting cable and zip ties and whatnot. We've got a knife, handy. Yeah, so better Torx bits, these are really high quality Torx bits, so they're not going to round or have issues. Circular cable cutters, so they get a nice clean cut generally, not always but generally. Got a little tiny bottle of Smooth lube, which is actually really good lube, so that's just someone gave me that bottle to try Smooth out, and I like it. I just can't get hold of any. So Smooth, if you're watching, or the distributors of Smooth, send me some please, I'll suss it out, I know it's good. Needle nose pliers, smaller needle nose pliers, some emergency duct tape in case you need to tape someone's legs up or hands up for not sending a jump. Small adjustable spanner, the infamous 10mm, which may or may not come in handy on a bike, but comes in handy on all sorts of stuff, so that's all good. Pop the top off. Now check this out. This is pride of the fleet. Digital RockShox pressure gauge for your forks and shocks. For me, super important to get the bike feeling exactly how I want it, regardless of temperature. So, the temperature goes up, your bike's going to be stiffer. Temperature goes down, your bike's going to be softer. So, if you're running air suspension. So, super handy, that one as well. Zip ties, more zip ties. Isopropyl alcohol comes in handy for cleaning things. Bow Shield T9, good for joints and whatever. It's a chain lube, but I don't rate it highly as a chain lube. White Lightning, killer lube, just doesn't last very long. A spare 11-speed chain. Some brake pads. So these are the nuke-proof brake pads. The metal brake pads or sintered brake pads. They're actually quite good. So if anyone wants them, they're for guides, hit me up. Some more guide spare pads, so I think they're slightly second-hand, but they're still good. More rotor bolts, more duct tape. Octite 243, good stuff. More zip ties, more screwdrivers, more needle nose pliers. 2-way quick link putter on remover. Multi grips. We got circlip plier, plastic mallet, handy for everything. Packet of spacers come in handy, so there's a couple of DPX2 spacers in there, Float X2 spacer, RockShox, Pike, Pike, Lyric, Yari tokens, and deluxe, super deluxe token in there, so bits and pieces of everything. Here we've got a cassette remover, just a standard one, and we've got I've had the chamfer taken off of this for getting into Fox 36s, so it's a 32mm socket. We got the smaller socket for getting into the top of the older RockShox stuff. I believe this is like maybe a Campag tool remover, or some sort of I can't remember, maybe a bottom bracket, or like a Shimano specific, or something specific for that. I'm not too sure, but when I need it, I'm sure I'll know what it is. more zip ties, cassette tool, chain whip, park tool grease comes in handy, and a heap of cone spanners, so all my cone spanners in there, pedal spanner, tubeless repair kit, or tyre repair kit, puncture repair kit, spare nipples for Eastern wheels. So if anyone's got Eastern wheels and they need those nipples, they're a specific nipple, hit me up, I got them. And a couple of random mounts. So what do we got here? We've got a 185 post, we've got a 20mm IS, and what's this other one? 203 front mount. So for old Boxer or old Fox 40, whatever. That's pretty much it. So I've got heaps of spares, heaps of bits and pieces. This sucker as well. I've got a sock in case, you know, you're missing a sock, I guess. But yeah, I've got bits and pieces of everything in here. So it's just a collection of, over the years, I need this, I'll get that. I need this, I'll get that. I don't have that tool, I'll get that. So just built it up over time. I've also got the tool you use to fit and remove bushings, rock shocks. So yeah, that's my toolbox. Got more or less everything I need in that one little box, and usually if something goes wrong I can fix it. Not all the time, but yeah. So if you haven't started a collection, get started. You know, go buy a chain whip and a cassette tool, or a hammer, or set of new Allen keys. Make sure you spend the money and get the good stuff, because the cheap tools will do a cheap job. So yeah, that's it.